Sentire Media.
Ciao a tutti and welcome to Venice Talks, a podcast series dedicated to Venice in Italy. I'm your host, Monica Cesarato, a Venetian food and travel blogger. Join me as I share my insider knowledge to help you explore Venice at 360 degrees. In this weekly podcast, we'll dive into the heart of a city, uncovering hidden stories and connecting with the people who make Venice unique. The artisans, the writers, the fashion designers, the bloggers, the journalists, and more. Let's break free from cliché and discover the true essence of Venice, not just the monuments, but the vibrant people, the Venetians. Experience Venice the right sustainable way. You can find me on my blog at www.monicacesarato.com and across all social media platforms. Enjoy the episode and let's journey through Venice together. Hi everyone! I would love to hear your voice in my podcast. Tell me in a short audio clip, maximum 2 minutes, what you love most about Venice. Is it a hidden corner, a favorite taste, a special memory? Whatever makes your heart beat for this city, I want to hear it. You can send your audio to me by email at info@monicacesarato.com or directly on WhatsApp. And now, let's hear it from Kathy Gonzalez.
Hi Monica, this is Kathleen Gonzalez. I will never forget the first time I saw Venice, which was the moment I fell in love with her. I was in Europe with some students of mine. I'm a teacher and had brought them to Europe. And we got to Venice, stepped out of the train station, and I saw the Grand Canal. I saw all these palaces with their beautiful colors, the sort of salmon color and red and orange. I saw the water reflecting back onto things. I saw the boats going past. I saw gondoliers calling to each other. I saw the blue sky with those sort of canaletto clouds. And that was it. I was in love. I felt my interior world, like something in my chest and my stomach just rearranged itself, and Venice entered my heart. That was back in 1996, and I have not stopped loving her. Venice has meant many, many different things to me over the years, but she is just a very special place. I go back and visit her every year and just can't get enough. So thanks for giving me this opportunity to tell others about my little moment of falling in love at first sight.
Welcome back to Venice Talks, Season 3, Episode 17. Hi everybody and welcome back to Venice Talks. Today I have another special episode and I'm very happy because I have a dear friend, one of the most famous Italian singers in the USA, and I'm so glad that today I have Giada Valenti with me. Ciao Giada, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Nice to talk to you, carissima.
Yeah. So, for a start, you are back in Italy at the moment. You are, since we've seen each other the other day, of course.
Yes.
Okay. And let's start from the beginning. So, first of all, who is Giada Valenti?
Giada Valenti, una matta. Yeah, she's a crazy woman now.
Yes, I know. I can say that for sure from the other day when we met.
Yeah, I'm crazy just like you. No, I'm a singer and songwriter I always had a lot of energy and big dreams. Sounds familiar to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the way I live my life, following happiness. Happiness happened to be traveling and performing, and I'm lucky enough that I can do that. And so I have a happy life doing what I love.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. First of all, when did you start singing? How old were you?
So I was very young, apparently. I went to church, I don't even remember. So, but I've been told, Monica, that I was going to church with my grandmother. My grandmother was not a professional, but she was a good singer. She was a soprano, and she was a part of the choir here in Portogruaro, which is just a place beyond Venice where I still reside. At the moment, I have a second home here beside Las Vegas. So I was going on Sunday on church, sitting on the lap of grandma, apparently, and I was humming all the church songs, and people on the choir, and grandma said, this kid can hold a tune, like they say. And so it was grandma that said to my parents to send me to music school. So I went to the Istituto Santa Cecilia, which was the music school we still have here. And I've been told that I learned to write music notes even before I could write the letters. So I started very, very young. And then, of
wow.
course, yeah. And I had a crazy grandfather who used to say that in life, just like John Lennon, I think that's where he got it from, you need to be happy. So happiness was the most important thing from grandpa. So it happens when they asked me, how did you become a singer and why do you do this job? I said, because it makes me happy. I'm lucky that it makes other people happy too. But my first choice was to make me happy. And I love music. It's my world, my life, my everything.
So how did we go from learning music in Portogruaro, which is a beautiful city, by the way, guys? If you, I mean, Giada organizes tours and stuff. We'll talk about this later. But you have to speak to her about Portogruaro. It's a beautiful city near Venice. But
Yes.
how did you go from Portogruaro to Las Vegas? I mean, it's not exactly, next door.
No.
How did we get there?
No, I try to make it as fast as, because it's been I've
We
been
got
there.
time. We got
I
time.
mean, exactly. We only have an half an hour, and so 20 years in 2 minutes. Well, I follow my happiness, right? So I studied university psychology, and in a winter month, I was going to Switzerland to sing, just to make some money to pay the studies. I met my husband very young. He was Dutch, so I moved to JJ, which you know him too. I moved to Amsterdam with him, with the plan of getting married, having children, and create a life like old women do. And again, a friend of JJ said, "Yeah, you're a singer, right? They are looking for a singer and songwriters that are Italian, just like you, but living abroad. So for represented the Netherlands, would you like to do it?" I had just happened that I had written a song called Solo Con Te, only with you, for JJ. We were just married.
Nice.
And so I went to these competitions in Bruxelles, I remember, and I won. So got me to a record deal. I started my career in the Netherlands, where not many people know, but outside Italy, Germany and Holland are two countries where Italian music has always been very popular.
How old were you in your 20s?
In my 20s, yeah, you're correct.
Wow.
Under the
Okay.
20, I do this. And so I started my career there. I got a little success. Then again, I'm very ambitious myself. I wanted to improve my songwriting skill. So with JJ, we were going for years in France, to the south of France. There was a big convention called the Medium to meet other songwriters and publishers. And I was invited to London to write some music with some well-known English songwriters, and I wrote there a song that changed my life. It's called "Piece of My Heart," and I wrote the song. They loved it. They offered me a deal, Monica. There was like no, you could not say no. So I moved to London from Amsterdam. To be a songwriter, and they sent me to Denmark, where I was writing songs basically for other singers. It was a big thing called the Depop, where all the publishers of Europe and the United States were sending songwriters, and we were writing for Christina Aguilera, to Bocelli, to all the big names. We had a list of who was looking what, and so I was 10 days in the middle of nowhere in Denmark, and I was, of course, writing. The deal was in one day you had to choose a writer, an artist you wanted to write for, and you needed to write a song, produce the song, record the song, finish the song. Me, I didn't only do that, but I think it sounds familiar because I know your energy. I was doing that from 5 to 6, and then I was going on at night writing another song with other songwriters. So I came, and one night in the middle of all of this, I was writing music with these two amazing songwriters from Denmark, and they fell in love with my voice. And they said, "What about we write a song for you?" And we wrote a song called "Italian Signorina," and a couple of more at night, of course, because it was free time. We could do what we wanted. Jay just sent it around, and we got invited to New York. We spent 11 years in New York City, invited by Clive Davis, nota bene, with the discover of Christina Aguilera and Whitney Houston and so forth. And after 11 years in New York, I wanted to have a place that was more sunny and sunshine. We moved to Los Angeles, and from Los Angeles, the step was closed. We moved to Las Vegas, and that's where I am now.
Wow.
20 years in a minute, right?
Okay. Well, yeah, 20 years as in talking about, okay, what's happened, but now I want to know musically wise, what happened? Okay, because of course, the other day when we met, you mentioned some venues where you sang, and I was like, in my head, I was going like, oh, shit, okay.
Well,
because the way you talk about it, it's like, yeah, I performed here and I performed there, and I'm going like,
yeah.
Did she just mention that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned Carnegie Hall and the Grand Ole Opry and all those places. Yeah, those, when you start to work I always say America it's a wonderful country. I mean, Europe too, but Italy is America is very meritocratic, so they give you a first chance.
Yes.
So when I moved there, I have to admit it wasn't easy. So I went there as a songwriter, invited by Clive Davis. And a singer. So we wrote for 3 years with him. Everything was perfect. We were writing and recording. And then, of course, we're talking in the beginning of 2006 and 7, I think it was, when all the industry of music changed. So the record companies started to change because you started to have the MP3, the Spotify, all those things. So suddenly I was in New York, strained in New York, no record deal anymore because they were looking for different kind of things. So I was like, what should I do? So I decided to stay in New York. And with JJ, we are kind of crazy, as I said in the beginning. He said, you know what? We start to organize concerts. So let's say for maybe close to 5, 6, 7 years, we started to rent a theater, try to invite people, sell tickets, put up the show, doing everything. Before the show, we were putting, the programs on the chairs. And we did all small kind of venues. We started to go outside New York. We did Long Island, all the places around there. So when we moved to Philadelphia, we started to meet people that were invited us a little bit more further at Chicago. And then to the point I was like, we have to scale this one. So I said, I want to do the whole United States. How do you do that? We started to do, we produced ourselves a big show for the American television, for PBS, which I know is a channel that you know very well. And that changed my destiny a little bit because suddenly we were able to do bigger venues. We were able to scale the music and bring it all over the United States, also the East Coast, not only the West Coast, not only the East Coast. And of course, at a certain point, one of my fans, he said, how lovely would it be for you to do Carnegie Hall? Well, I don't know if you know how much to rent Carnegie Hall is. We couldn't.
I don't even want to know.
Oh, well,
I didn't even think that you rented it. I just thought you got invited and that's it.
Yeah, no, the second time I got invited, but the first time to get in, we did it ourselves. So and we did a show that was called Amore y Amor. Was a tribute to Italian and Spanish music, and it did pretty well. So the year after, we were invited. So I did Carnegie Hall twice.
Wow.
And then, of course, another venue that is very close to my heart because, funny enough, we didn't talk last day in Venice, but I do love country music. I mean, I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan.
I was in Tennessee a few years ago, and
Dolly?
I went to Nashville. And you met her, have you? Tell me you met her.
For me, Dolly is, the epitome of joy, of being artistic. She's a beautiful woman, but she never took herself seriously. That beauty is part of herself, but it's not the central point. And I do love that because the central point is being kind and create music. She's a woman that loves women. And for me, in my book, it's very important to support each other. So I love country music. And when I was doing a Christmas album 3 years ago, I put together a beautiful Christmas album that I recorded at Abbey Road Studios in London. I wanted to do some duets. And country singers are very much into Christmas music. So I connect with Vince Gill, which is in American music, is one of the greatest artists, and Trace Adkins. They are two big stars in the country music. They both said yes to do a duet with me for the Christmas album. And actually, Trace Adkins, 2 Christmas ago, invited me to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, which is the holy grail of country music. And you're going to get a kick of this because you're Italian like me. So now when I go to the Grand Ole Opry, which is this huge theater where all the Dolly Parton, all the country singers I'm member of. When I go there, they remember me. They said, "Oh, Giada is here, the security guard, the one that opened the gate. It's Tony, and he's Italian, of course. So when I get to the gate, every time you can see me on camera, and the gates open with a big smile, said, Giada is back, and friend all over. So
now I feel very bad that I didn't ask for your autograph the other day.
No, yeah, I asked for yours because I do have your book, which I do love. It's in my pocket.
I feel really bad now. I've only got funny photos and Betsy. Listen,
what do you do? If you sell it on eBay, you're not going to get any money out of it.
No. Hey, wait. After this interview, darling, you're going to be going for everything. Listen to me. Listen, I just want to ask you a couple of things relating to Venice. First of all, you have performed in so many places. What's the difference between singing to an American audience and singing for a Venetian or Veneto one?
I haven't done much. I'm started actually 2 years ago when I started to spend more time back here in Italy. I started to do a little thing. I have actually one coming up in a little bit. Monica, there is no difference. I don't know the Veneto audience, because actually next year I'm going to have more, and I'm going to have a Christmas concert here in Venice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. But maybe a month and a half ago, I was invited to do this concert in Florence, in the heart of Florence, at the Niccolini Theater. And I was expecting an American audience because in Italy, not many people knows me. So and then just maybe 10 minutes before I step on stage, the producer, he tell me, "Oh, can you speak some Italian too? Because 80% of the audience here tonight at the Niccolini Theater are Italians." And that freaked me out, because I'm like, it's very easy to perform for an audience that you're going to perform in. The show that I was doing that night was the Italian heart of the American music. So it's this tribute of American music, but with a touch of Italy, because let's be honest, almost all the American music, the one that is great music, is being written, performed, or sang by an Italian or somebody from Italian. So I was like, how am I going to do this for an Italian audience? They don't even maybe know the song I'm singing. Monica, it was just like, it made me realize from the warmth of the audience, music speaks more than any language. And suddenly I found myself like I was performing for the same lovely, amazing, wonderful audience that are my fans in the United States. And I got 3 standing ovations. I didn't have an encore, because in America, let's say we seldom do encore, only when we do stuff with orchestra that is all plans. But normally the show is 90 minutes. Big applause, and you get out. Pop music is a little bit like that. So that night, I didn't have an encore. There was an Italian audience, and I had not sang much Italian songs. So they all said, "We want more in Italiano, ancora." So I sang for them. I said, "Una canzone inglese o americana?" I said, "English or Italian?" And they all said, "Italiano." So I sang for them a cappella with no music.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have any other repertoire with the music.
Forget about auto-tune. Yeah, always new people with auto-tune.
I think I sang Senza Fine for them.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I left the stage and I went off stage and they wanted more. So the guy from the theater said, "Are you do another one?" I said, "I don't have any song." So I went out, and actually we had taken out from the show one song because I wanted to make the show shorter. And so we did that song. So I found that the audience actually, the warmth of I think, you know what I always say? It's not the artist that has to be great, it's the audience. The audience makes the show great.
Yes.
We perform, we give our whole. And if you are a good artist, you can reach the heart of your audience. But then it's the audience bottom line that makes it fantastic. And they were a wonderful audience. So I performed in Venice at private event, and for some of they are Venetian friends. But I'm convinced that the audience is, at least people that love music, they if you don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to be expecting anything, but I always say, my mother, for instance, she's an introvert, and she always said to me, "How can you do what you do?" I'm always saying, "Ma, I put myself out there. I know it's risky, because when you are an artist and you put yourself on a stage, Of course, there is going to be people loving you, and there may always be somebody judging you.
Yeah, but you drain the energy, don't you? You just
It's
get the
true.
energy. It kinds of you feed off the energy. And
Yeah,
the more they're warm, the more you want to do. It's
yeah.
just like this.
I
Listen, growing up in Venice, sorry if I interrupt
see.
you, but growing up
No, no.
in Veneto and Portugal, Venice,
In Portogruaro,
in
sì.
Portogruaro, but you did go to Venice or whatever. So, how did the city atmosphere, also the atmosphere of Veneto, when it comes down to art, music, and love, influence you as a performer?
I think it's part of what I am in any from my DNA. I studied in Venice, jazz music actually in
Okay.
Venice, and yeah. So when they ask me the same question in the United States, I'm always say I think I am a lover of music, of hearts, of beauty, and of melodies and everything that I try to kindness is because I was born and raised in Venice and in the Veneto region. We have, you are from Venice too. We have beauties everywhere. We don't realize that when you travel the world like I do, you see that not everywhere you have a piazza where you have people sitting, really enjoying a cup of coffee. Not everywhere you have the magic of Venice with people are hugging, kissing, are all happy with a photo camera, taking pictures and snapping pictures. That's the place I grew up, seeing the beauty, seeing that happiness of also of other people. They come and see the beauty of our territory, and that made me the person that I am. I'm a hopelessly romantic. I do believe in love. I do believe no matter how many bad relationship the world can put on me or whatever, I do believe that love is the center of life. I'm always say I wrote a song actually recently, realizing that it's love that breaks our heart, but it's only love that can make it heal again. So for and all these images and romantic images that I have of love and life is because of Italy, is because of Venice, and it's because of my family and the place
Yeah,
I
and
grew
it's
up.
also because of JJ, because he's
Also
so
because of
nice.
JJ.
I got
Yeah,
to
of
say,
course.
guys out there, these two together. The other day, I was out with them, and I got to say, they made me. How can I say? They restore my faith in love.
Oh,
Because
that's beautiful. You
I got
see?
to say, you are so cute together. You really are, and
Oh,
it's nice
thank
to
you.
see when people are, so in love after so many years as well, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And I think, and I love it the way he's supporting you, and he supported you
Yes.
right from the beginning.
Yes.
I think this is so important. Listen, if Venice had a soundtrack, what song would it be?
That's funny because one of my favorite songs, the song that made me a singer is a French song, is La Vie en Rose, which is Edith Piaf, of course. So for me, it will have the sound of La Vie en Rose, not specifically. By the way, she was half Italian and was co-written by Edith Piaf and a Neapolitan guy that.
Oh, I didn't know
Louis
this.
Guglielmi,
Oh,
yes, yes, he's always in my show because I always say that Nonna, the grandmother of Edith Piaf, was from Torino,
uh-huh.
and nobody wanted to write the song. Edith Piaf had written the song by herself, and she was not a songwriter. She could not register the song, so she was a superstar in France and was asking everybody, I need somebody who is a songwriter that is registered and can sign the song with me, and nobody wanted. But it was this guy, Louis Guglielmi, that just came from South America to Paris, and he signed it. So I'm always say to my French fans, I said, I'm so sorry, but French lyrics, but there's an Italian heart in there. So for me, it's La Vie en Rose. But you know why? Because I found that it's a very simple song. Everybody loves La Vie en Rose, even when they don't understand any French words. And the French words are simple. It's romantic. It's nice, putting the people in the mood the same way that Venice get people in the mood. You know, you step it out to Venice. It's simple. It's canals, it's bridges, and you fell in love. And so it's La Vie en Rose for me, and so it will have the sound of La Vie en Rose because it's simple.
Have you ever thought about doing unless you've done it already, in which case, smack me, of doing a record only of Venetian songs?
No, because you asked me the other time. Remember we will say, "Oh, we're going to do some Venetians activity, me and you together." We will. World, watch out. I only know a few Venetian songs because my grandmother, as I mentioned before, Maria, she was a singer. And she was, I remember as a child, she was singing some little Venetian song, but I remember only La Biondina and Gondoletta. I remember only one. So
Yeah.
I have to do a research. It would be interesting.
There's some beautiful one, and there are some that are strictly relating to the people that used to work in Venice. Like, for example, I don't know if you heard one of the first episodes of the podcast of interview my dear friend Marisa Convento. She's the president of the association for, well, I got to say it properly, otherwise she's gonna smack me next time she sees me. Okay, for the association for the it's gone. Oh, for the safeguard of the art of Venetian glass beads. Okay. And in Pirarese, there's a lady that used to string the beads to make, to send off worldwide. They had a union, and they used to sit in Castello, in Canareggio, and so on, stringing these beads and singing this particular song. Marisa sings to me every single time. And it's actually a really nice song, because it's a song of about, they're fighting against, how can I say, they are the first people in Venice or in Italy that actually striked. Okay. It's the first strike ever was organized by them. And so they were fighting against injustice and stuff like that. So actually it will be interesting to find the old Venetian songs, because I know there are a couple of artists that are specialized in this in Venice, but I think it would be so nice for you to give it, bring you back to the roots as well.
It would be, and you know what is one thing that I always find it funny in Venice, but I live in Las Vegas, and we also have the Venetian, which is a beautiful tribute to Venice, but of course there's nothing like Venice. But even the gondolier, they don't sing Venetian song, they sing Neapolitan song, they sing O Sole Mio. I'm like, why doing that?
I know.
So with the problem that when I am in the United States, when I say I'm Venetian, they start to sing to me O Sole Mio. I'm like, that's not a Venetian song.
Well, listen, woman, this is gonna have to be our next mission. Yes. So I brought the food of Venice to the world. You need to bring the music of Venice to the world. That's it.
And at least to the gondolier and to the Venetian in Las Vegas.
Exactly. But you know what the problem is? I think it was the same with food. That I think the problem is because, by DNA, Venetians are merchants. Okay. So the idea was, I need to sell something. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. I will sell it to you, giving away the pride, I think. Yeah. When instead, maybe places like Rome, like Florence, when it comes down to food, they said, hey, you want to eat, you eat what I eat. I'm not going to make it invent something for you. Okay. When instead we just went along. So we need to get back to have our own pride a little bit. Listen, many people know you as a singer, but you are also a storyteller. So how do you weave your personal story into the songs you share?
Well, you said it right. When they come to my concert, they always enjoy the music very much, but they love the fact that every song I sing has a story. That's why I choose song, because I love the story behind the song. So coming back to your question, you want me to say the storytelling on myself, or if I have to...
You're a storyteller. How do you weave that into the concert, into the everyday social medias? How do you combine the two things?
I think that you have to communicate something in life. With my music, I always try to communicate. Even at my concert, I don't sing a song. I tell a story with each song. Whatever song I choose, I dig into it to know why they wrote the song, who wrote the song. And then when they tell me when I sing the song, it's like they heard the song for the first time, because many people did not know about that song. So when I perform a song, they're like, and I do the same with my social media. At least I try, because, social media is another kind of animal. It goes very fast. People don't pay much attention. So most of the time I try to write something that means something, and I see that people look only the picture, and maybe the picture is because a cat died, but they think, oh, that's a beautiful cat. I'm like, no, the cat died. Please read the message. So storytelling on social media, it's very difficult to tell. So I use social media carefully, just to first of all, I use social media to communicate positivity, because I think there is enough bad things out there. So storytelling, I try to tell the people that enjoy my post that I'm doing sometimes bad, sometimes well, where I'm going, what I'm doing. And I
But
tell
you're
the
talking
story of my
also,
life.
I love it because you don't talk just about yourself. You talk a lot about Veneto as well. And
Oh, yes, I do a lot
I
about
think
that.
is one of the things that I love about you because you always, and you don't just talk about Venice, is the Veneto, because at the end of the day, Venice is not just
No,
Venice, even though a lot of people will say it is, but it's not.
no. As I
And,
say, I'm a history freak. I like to,
oh, me
I like to
too,
know.
me
Yeah.
too. Me too, me too. I mean, I love, for me, the best thing is to take guided tours or to watch documentaries about the history, to watch. I get so annoyed when I see films that are supposed to be historical films, and then three-quarters of a film is completely different from what the story was. And I
Yeah.
go like, no, okay, I get the
Yep.
interpretation, but can we just go back to a little bit more, historic
Authenticity.
data?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So
I know.
you totally get me, don't you?
Oh, I
Vince?
totally get you. I mean, I'm a history freak, so I like. I stopped lately because I was very much promoting the territory. Because I spend so much time in Italy, so I film everything that happens around the place I go. But in until last year, let's say when I was spending much time in the United States, so I didn't have the opportunity to be in the territory of Veneto and shoot those films. I was sharing in my post, in my storytelling on social media, a lot of knowledge about the past, why we say certain words about history today in history, in music history, in food history. I'm a huge, I mean, you are a food passionate, but so am I. So
Oh, I
I
know.
love to.
I saw the way you clean the plate of Cicchetti the other day.
Oh,
I know.
well, I I enjoy food very, very much, but
I
I also
thought
love to
JJ,
know.
I
Yeah.
thought JJ was gonna clean the plate. It turned
Oh,
out it was Giada. And by the way, she's even thinner. You see her on the pictures. You know when they say the camera makes you a little bit chubby. Well,
yes.
she is even thinner than her pictures, and I don't know how she can eat the way she eats.
I eat, we walk like you. We walked 13,000 steps that day,
We
Monica.
did? Okay,
Yes, we did.
I didn't realize we
So we burn all the cicchetti that you made us
Yeah,
eat.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Listen, what's your project? Your next projects? What's on for Giada for the next, let's say, 6 months?
Ooh, for the next 6 months, I'm working on this big project that is going to be music and territory of Veneto for the American television. I want people to
Cool.
know the Veneto more and more and more, not only Venice but beyond Venice. So that's my
Fantastic.
project. For Christmas is coming up, and every time I have a huge love for Christmas. So I've been offered to do some concert also in Italy with
Cool.
Christmas.
Can't
And
wait.
I'm always working. People think I'm in Italy vacationing, but actually, I'm just like you. My brain is going into 7,000 things. And I'm organizing this trip for Italy. All my fans, when they come to Italy, I have this, we talk about it, me and you, Monica. I hate when people come to Italy and they just take these huge organized trips and they follow. I always say, I see them following umbrellas. Of tourist guide and they spend, let's say, of the 3 weeks they are in Italy, they spend 2 weeks in cars, in trains, in buses. So I always
Sounds like the film.
yeah, right. And me, I'm like, man, Italy needs to be explored with an open heart. You have to sit down, relax. I mean, I see people in Venice, they look for Piazza San Marco, and they look the sign everywhere. I'm like, forget the sign. You're gonna get to San Marco at a certain point because this is an island. Where are you going? You're gonna get lost. And like you do, you show us those streets that nobody knows, out of the path of the tourists. That's what the magic of Italy is. The places. So get lost. And so because of that, I started before COVID to have this idea. Then COVID happened. We organized this trip to Italy where I take my fans. I put it out there one day and I said, what about coming and see Italy with me? And they were like, I'm in. So we organized this trip. The first one is in a couple of weeks. And I bring small groups. We talk about it with you, Monica. And I want to show her Venice, of course, because Venice is a jewel that, I mean, the whole world knows. And there are people that saw Venice in this trip 15 times and they still want to go and see Venice. But then I want them to discover and see the beauty of Venice beyond Venice, because there is a landscape and a magic villages everywhere in the Veneto region that are just jewels. And I want them to go slow. I don't want it to do Venice, Florence, Rome. I wanted to do Venice and then to go outside Venice, to do Portogruaro, to do Carle, to do Treviso, to do Vicenza, Verona, staying in our region and enjoy from the winery to the food. And so I'm organizing this trip. That's also something that's very dear and close to my heart. And I know we are going to be collaborating, me and you, in some of this. If we want to show people what
I just want to reassure the people listening. No, I'm not going to sing. Don't worry.
Oh, you'll never know, Monica.
Even though, you know, when you start saying that you used to go to with your grandma and your mom and you were in the choir, I actually sang in a choir until I was 18. I was actually a solo singer. I sang in front of 2,000 people, and then I stopped singing when I went to England and got married or whatever. So my vocal cords are completely gone now, but I can still sing in church, let's say. That's about it. You know what we were saying the other day, I'm a shower person.
You know how? No, you never know. You know. Well, we need also sing or shower. I will all. I think I always consider myself also a shower singer.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No. I'm always say I'm not a shower singer because of my fans. You know how I close my show with something with my grandmother told me when I was a little girl and stayed with me, and my fans always. They, you know, and when I'm on stage, I'm all glitters and glamours. And then when they talk to me, I'm just a fan. They say, "Juan, you are so normal." I'm like, why should it not be normal? And I close the show with something that my grandmother told me, stayed with me, and I think made me the person that I am. I always say, I thank everybody in my audience for showing up, coming to the concert, buying the CD or streaming my music. Because as my grandmother said, if it wasn't for them, I will be singer in the shower. It's the audience, the fans that allowed me to share, do Carnegie Hall, not because of me.
Yeah, I think it's what a lot of performers should remember, and unfortunately,
yes, exactly.
Some don't. Listen, darling, where are people gonna find you online and on Spotify?
So they can find me on Spotify and on Giada Valenti, of course, in GiadaValenti, but I know you're going to put it there. And of course, on my website, giadavalenti.com, and on all the social media, just like you, my dear. So
and then they can go to any, but I don't even think, do they still exist, the record shops? They don't, do they?
I mean, if they can go on Amazon and they can buy CD, but who has CD players?
I don't know. Actually, I don't even think my PC got it. To be honest with you, I mean,
doesn't have either.
We are so. I mean, at least I'm old enough. You are a little bit as well to forget about CDs. Record players.
Remember everything.
33 and 45.
The long playing are coming back.
They are, aren't they? Yes, and I remember having, I don't know, because you're younger than me, but I remember the little 33 giri, you know, the little one that you used to throw in, coming out, push in, push out, and by the time you listen like 5 times, it was totally destroyed.
But they're coming back. They're coming back because with my Christmas album, as I told you, I've recorded this beautiful Christmas album, Love Under the Christmas Tree, with a Royal Philharmonic Orchestra.
Oh, wow.
And it still is my dream. They can find it on Spotify for now, but every year we had a couple of songs, and at a certain point I said to JJ, I want to print one of those big long playing, the 33 giri, because at least you feel you have something in your hand.
Exactly. Well, listen, at least now I know what I'm gonna be listening when Christmas song time is due, because I got fed up lately, you know, but now I know I'm gonna be listening to Giada. So I have my Giada.
Everybody, please stream my music. We discussed the other day, you asked me, how much money do you make with streaming? I said, well,
0.
a cent of a cent. But if the billions of people stream the Giada Valenti, then I can make a buck.
Yeah, but it's not just about, I think, making well, obviously you want to make money, but I think also it helps you, how can I say, it is always visibility, and anyway, you don't need it, you're so famous, what do you
no, but you know what I still flatter me when and I really mean it with my whole heart, when I get messages from people, and I get them on a daily basis, that they and I answer to all of them, Monica, because believe me, I mean, there are no millions of them, so I still have time, but I probably will always do. when they send me a message and there is a guy, for instance, that writes me maybe once a month. He's very kind. I never met him. I don't even know where it is. He has like is getting better from a surgery, and he always say that he find my music and my voice calming. So every time he writes me,
beautiful.
and to me, those are the messages. Oh, like I remember when I did my PBS special, I was receiving so many messages, but I remember one woman that thanked me because one of the songs was the opening song of the PBS special. There was a love story. Where do I begin? That song brought back, every time she was playing that song, was bringing back her mother who was suffering of Alzheimer. And when the song was going on, for the first time, she said, I remember you were on TV singing the song. My mother turned to me and she said, I do love this song. I remember. And so she was just like, oh my gosh, and talked to her, recognized her as her daughter. So she passed away, unfortunately, after a little while. But I became friendly with that woman because every time she was thanking me. And, and then I get these messages of people that thank me because they've chose one of my songs to get engaged. I have now I organized this tour in Italy in September. And there was one of this couple that I had no idea. They come from Arizona. I said to JJ, who are those people? Because they are fans of my music, but I never saw them and I never did a concert in their city. So one day I called them just to arrange the trip because we always ask some question. And I said, how do you know me and my music? I think we never met. And they said, no, we never did. And the gentleman shared with me the story that a couple of years back, he wanted to prepare a video with all the picture of his life with his wife because they were celebrating like 50-year anniversary wedding. And he was looking for a song and he came across Italian Signorina. He loved that. And apparently he sent an email to JJ saying if he could use that song. He didn't know because he wanted to put it on YouTube. If he could use the song for the rights and stuff like that. And apparently JJ answered to him, sure, sir, you can do that. And of course, you answered to JJ. You became part of my mailing list.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So he got all the messages ever seen. He's never been to none of my concerts, but he's so excited that he's coming finally to Venice.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
And then he was like, he was very, very, what you say, in a sweet way, he said, will Giada sing Italian Signorina at the concert? Because we always do also a concert when we organize this trip to Italy for the fans. And I said, of course, I will sing Italian Signorina. So you see, beautiful. Music connects people in funny way.
Well, Giada, listen, I can't wait to come to one of your concerts.
Yes.
That's for sure.
I cannot wait to have you in my audience.
Yes, and I will be there like a fangirl, going,
That's my crazy friend, Monica.
She's my friend. No, I will go like, I know her. She's my friend.
I know her too. She's the Cicchetti girl.
Lisa, it was so beautiful talking to you. And you already said the website. We said already Spotify. We said everything. Listen,
said everything.
And say hi to JJ for me. And it was beautiful finally meeting you and finally have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. No, thank you so much, Monica. Un abbraccio.
Ciao.
Also to
Ciao,
your listener. Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you so much, Giada, for the wonderful chat. You can find Giada at www.giadavalenti.com and on Spotify with her beautiful, beautiful music. Thank you again for listening. Venice Talks podcast is a production of Sentire Media, created, produced and hosted by me, Monica Cesarato. Follow Venice Talks wherever you get your podcast, and if you want to book a food tour or a cooking experience with me, you can find me over at www.monicacesarato.com and on all social medias with the handle at Monica Cesarato, where you can follow my adventures around Venice. And don't forget, if you love this episode, please rate it and leave a review. It's very much appreciated.
Sentire Media.